This is your courtesy reminder to turn your clocks back on Saturday night into Sunday morning. It is fall back, but we're going to play a little game called Spring Forward, Fall Back, all about daylight saving time, except with a hockey spin. So let's start.
We used to love fall back in college. You get an extra hour.
Oh, I know.
2 o'clock would become 1 o'clock.
Then you become a parent of little ones, and you're about to find out how not fun it is when your kids wake up at 5 a.m. instead of 6.
I used to love it though in college.
Anyway.
At 12, all of a sudden turns into a 3-hour night.
Woo! Johnny's still in the heyday.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to talk about guys who have sprung forward, meaning been a nice, pleasant surprise, and other guys who have kind of fallen back from preseason expectations. Let's start with the positive. Spring forward. Who has sprung forward in your mind, Weeksy?
To me, it's Joseph Woll, the goalie for the Toronto Maple Leafs, a St. Louis native. I've been really impressed by his body of work. He's now played 16 games at the NHL level. After 15, he had a .934 save percentage in those games. This is incredible. And the saves that he made in this game, specifically against Dallas, but the one against Jason Robertson that you're going to see momentarily, was just absolutely sensational. He's a very calm. Here it is. Unreal stop. In a full split like Bruce Lee. And for whatever reason, Johnny, you guys live back home in Toronto, and I said this the other night with you guys on TSN. For whatever reason, there's been a trepidation to kind of anoint him and give him more. It's almost so people are a little bit, do we want to?
Just because he hasn't played that much in Toronto. But like, you know, what's amazing, he's the same age as Jake Ottinger.
Exactly.
They, he just
and they're
hasn't
buddies.
They grew up
Played together.
Yeah.
National program together. They pushed each other that way. He's 26 years old now, so it's not like he's a kid.
No, old enough.
And the other interesting thing about Joseph Woll is that he doesn't work on his flexibility.
Natural.
He works on like a lot of core strengthening stuff, but not straight stretching. He just kind of comes naturally to get in his body to move that way. And you as a former goaltender can appreciate that's a nice luxury to have.
Huge luxury.
Now, Samsonov played well the other night, so it's going to be a 1-2 thing, but Samsonov's on the last year of his deal.
Yep.
Woll's the goalie of the future in Toronto. Whether that future starts this year, it might when it comes to the playoffs.
And on a team-friendly deal, too.
And on a good deal.
Ooh, very nice.
Yes.
Very important for that
absolutely.
particular franchise.
Yes.
Johnny, who has sprung forward for you?
All right, I'm going out west to Mason McTavish of the Anaheim Ducks. And let's give the Ducks some love because they've had a really nice start to their year. Now, Mason McTavish, remember, World Junior hero for Canada in the overtime gold medal game a couple years ago. Had a nice rookie season. 43 points, 17 goals. Like, you know, a guy who you thought would settle into a pretty good player. Well, he's done better than that so far this year for the surprising Ducks. And that he's more than a point-a-game player, 12 points in his 10 games. And answering the question that I had for him and his offensive upside, which is, are you fast enough to get to, like, I know you can shoot.
Yeah.
Like, I know you can make plays, but can you get the puck and yourself in those spots often enough to pick up the points? This year, he's answering that play he made in the overtime where he kind of faked like he's going to drop it back, spun to the boards, and took off. Brilliant stuff. And I'm like, the fact that he would think he could take off on someone is a step in his development and a positive one at that. I think he's been fantastic. You know, he's going to settle into around a point-a-game player, which is great stuff.
Absolutely.
And we'll see if that propels or springs forward the Ducks as a team, because right now they're right in the mix in terms of Pacific Division teams that are off to really good starts. Okay, not so positive. Who has fallen back for you, Weeksy?
Somebody that I know is better than he's performing, even though the team isn't playing as well in front of him, Jacob Markstrom, the goalie in Calgary. He's a big man. He's super skilled. He's talented. He's flexible. He's athletic. He's technically sound. And for whatever reason, I know he hasn't gotten the support, but he's a good enough goalie on his own to be able to not only keep the games, but steal some. He's that good. And that's really a testament to him. But last year he was off the mark, and he said so himself. And this year he hasn't looked like himself 100% either. And especially when you have it, and John hands you that combination of size, strength, skill, flexibility. He just looks like a shadow of himself right now.
Yeah, and you think of what he was 2 years ago.
Unbelievable. And then when he was in Van, too, prior to that.
That's why they signed him that big ticket. And the thought was, you know what, Park last year, he'll take a step forward. He'll be back somewhere closer to what was 2 years ago. I just think everyone in Calgary is feeling the tension, which is why my fallback, guys, I'm not going anywhere else.
Whoa.
Not only am I picking the same team, I'm picking multiple players.
No.
Avert your eyes, Calgary.
No, he's not.
Nazem Kadri, Jonathan Huberdeau.
Yeah.
Two incredibly talented players, two very highly paid players for the Calgary Flames that are just not doing what the Flames are paying them and counting on them to do. And, it's just been sort of softish plays. Huberdeau has 5 points in 10 games, but not any in this, maybe 1 second assist in the 6-game losing streak. Kadri has just the 1 goal, one that banked off a shin pad in an outdoor game. It's just not enough. You look at that plus minus, which I don't buy into.
Yeah.
It's not pretty. They're on for a lot of goals against. Late in their last game, Calgary, desperate to come back and win, pull their goalie out of extra guy. Jonathan Huberdeau wasn't even on the ice.
Yeah.
Tells you where his game is and where the team thinks they are. They're not, no team is going anywhere in the NHL when you have $18 million in forwards that are not producing. It's just the reality when your cap is 80, just math. You can't have, 20% of your cap, 25% of your cap not doing what they're supposed to do. So I want to believe they're going to break out of this. It's been a couple years now for Huberdeau and Kadri for that matter. They got to get going if Calgary wants to shake these early season doldrums they're going through.
Yeah, and we've been longtime believers of both of them.
Yeah.
And both of these are guys that can drive play. Like, especially Huberdeau, he's a creator, he's a playmaker. And for Naz, who was so great in Colorado.
So great.
Great. Arguably their best player for a good part of that regular season in light of some of the injuries they had the year they won the Cup. I think he had 87 points, missed 13 games. But point is, neither of them have looked 100% comfortable yet playing in Calgary.
How long do you need, BC?
I don't know. But clearly, I know.
But I can't give him a pass for saying we're not comfortable.
How long did Matthew Tkachuk need in Florida?
Well, but he chose Florida.
Not only
they didn't. Well, Naz chose Calgary, but not really because he was shopping other deals. Ended up in Calgary, and Jonathan Huberdeau had no idea. I get the shock last year.
Yeah.
But you chose to sign an extension there.
True.
You didn't have to. You could be somewhere else if you're choosing right now if you wanted to. Now he had to. There was $84 million. Why he did, and I get it. But you know what? You got to get over it.
You have to at some point.
Weeksy. I remember when I got traded to Tampa from Toronto. I was very upset. Toronto, my hometown, good team. Conference finalist, very comfortable. Tampa, not in any of those situations.
We weren't.
And it was my third game. As our old coach Steve Ludzik pulled me aside and said, "Listen, Mike, you got to stop pouting. Get over yourself. Start playing. You got to play. You're here now. This is it." And that's I get it. Maybe Jonathan Huberdeau. It's a different. It's a culture shock. It's a lifestyle shock. You got to get over yourself. You got to get playing. We need you to play and be as good as we know you are. So go do it. They've tried hard coach, soft coach.
That's
Lots
true.
of time, not time, every line mate. They just got to, the two of them, they have to be better.
And they're capable.
That's
the thing that gets
You're not
me.
asking them to do something they can't do or haven't done before.
No,
you're right. You guys make great points.
Yeah.
Wake up, Calgary. It's time.